It's been a while.
It has.
All right. Everybody, welcome back to the Nerd Happening Podcast. Kim's here with me today. We're doing a review of The Mandalorian Season 2, 5, 6, 7, or 6, 7, 8. Right, yeah. 14, 15, 16, chapter-wise. Start out with 14, The Tragedy. Little Mando and Baby Yoda, Grogu, as we know now, land on the ancient planet that Ahsoka Tano told him to go to for that seeing stone that Grogu could reach out into the Force with, find a Jedi, so Mando could drop him off for daycare, basically. Like Jedi training camp and all that.
And then we see, something amazing happen.
Yeah, a lot of amazing things happen in this episode. Well, he drops him off. He doesn't know what to do, trying to look for a start button or something, and then Grogu just kind of sits down and starts meditating. There's a cool little force field thing around him. Mando's like, I guess I'll just chill out and guard the perimeter. And then and then he sees a certain someone in Slave One coming down, which I was like, oh, it's happening. It's happening.
You were really excited.
Yeah, it was awesome. Then Boba Fett finally makes his real appearance.
Yeah, and he's like, hey, give me my armor.
Oh, he says, I want the armor at first. And then Din Djarin thinks, oh, you're not taking my armor. He's like, no, my armor.
Right.
That was my father's armor. Which kind of begs the question, is Boba Fett a real Mandalorian? What do you think?
I thought he isn't.
I don't know. Is he?
I don't know.
If he's not a real Mandalorian, does that make Din Djarin Mando? Is he a real Mandalorian?
No, because remember, he was raised by the cult.
Yeah. Also, Bo-Katan, who is like the leader of the Mandalorians. Effectively, they're almost like their queen. I don't think that's her real title. Kind of acknowledges him as being a Mandalorian for being part of, I guess, even though he's part of that like religious zealot cult.
Yeah.
But do you have to be born on Mandalore to be considered a Mandalorian? Or if you are Boba Fett, who is effectively, even though he's a clone, he's effectively the son of a Mandalorian with armor passed down to him, does that make him a real Mandalorian?
I guess to them, no, but I can see why he would be.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's interesting because we're not given a whole lot of explanation of that.
Well, it just is what it is, I guess.
We'll cover that here in the coming episodes, so we talk about them. And then the Imperials come and Fett's like, all right, let's put this on hold. You know.
Yeah, basically.
And they kind of make a deal, said, take the armor and I'll make sure that the child is okay, because that kind of comes in, important later. Mando, his ship gets blown up.
Yeah, and I feel like it would have been better if Mando grabbed his jetpack, because he set it down for some reason.
Yeah, because he was doing the whole, here's this. He said to set it down after because after him and Boba Fett meet, he says, well, what's stopping me from killing you? And he said there's a sharpshooter, which was the girl that Mando left for dead, the bounty hunter that was tracking him.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And then she kind of was saved by Boba and then kind of pledged her allegiance to him, which makes a lot of sense. I saved your life. Yeah, I owe you my life kind of thing. So, the sharpshooter, it's her, set it down, let's talk about it. And they say, I'll help you with the child, give me that, give me the armor, it's really mine.
And then all hell breaks loose, because then there's stormtroopers everywhere, and then there's that big battle scene that's awesome.
Yep. And Boba, it's there's a big contrast between Mando, who's fighting with precision and he's using his blasters, he's ducking for cover, and then there's Mando, who has his staff, and he's just savage. He's brutal. He's bashing their heads in. He's taking them out. He's fighting with anger and brutality. And it's just a lot of contrast between the two. And the bounty hunter girls, shooting people and backing them up and all that. And that's where he sees the ship is open, sees his armor, runs and grabs it.
Just in time.
Yep. And we finally get the Boba Fett scene I've always wanted. Where he's just flamethrower, grapple hook, the weird knee gun thing. Just taking people out. Dad bod and all.
You were so excited this episode. It was funny.
It was great. I couldn't. It's like, this is amazing. Finally, Boba Fett gets his time to shine.
Yeah, and the whole time, like, Mando's like, kid, wake up. Come on, we gotta go. Like, let's go.
Yep. He's trying to get through that force field thing, and he's like, all right, I guess this isn't happening.
Yeah.
There's just more and more stormtroopers here and there. And I love when they see the ships flying, and then Boba's like, all right, nope, pow, and he shoots his rocket.
Yeah, that's a cool moment.
Hits one, and it falls and destroys the other ship.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. It was awesome. And then, the Dark Troopers come down. They kidnap Baby Yoda. He's gone. And then Boba chases after him. And then he's being chased by TIE fighters. And then, just like in the prequels, I know you probably don't remember it, where Jango's making his escape. Because that was his ship, his father's ship originally. And he has that seismic charge thing drop. And it's just like in the movie. And everybody's like, I've been waiting for this. Takes them out, and that cool slow motion thing. And then, they kind of regroup to save him. And that's when he says, I said I'd help you save rescue the child, ensure his safety. So what are we doing?
Which it's good that he, like, stood by his word, basically, because Mando was like, he ain't got a ship now, he ain't got nothing. Like, he would have just been fucked.
Yep. He just goes back to the wreckage, finds his Beskar staff, and that little shifter now that Baby Yoda liked, Grogu. Which, of course, that survived.
Yeah, that.
Yep. So all in all, it's probably one of my favorite episodes, just because it really showcases Boba and it brings it back. Even though he's a little overweight, he's still kicking ass.
Yeah, it was just a cool action.
It was
episode. It was awesome.
It was great. And then, you kind of get that feeling that Grogu actually reached out and he touched somebody, which we find out later he did. Then chapter 15, right after that, Believer. Because I think at the end of that episode, the previous episode, they go back to Cara Dune and Carl Weathers. I can't remember his character name. He says, I need you to find somebody. Is that the episode? Oh, no. That's not the right episode where he did that. Oh, the seismic charge was in the next episode. I messed that up. And they're fighting the TIE fighters.
Yeah, you're talking about the episode after this is when Bill Burr comes back, correct?
Yeah, because he goes to Cara Dune and says, hey, I need you to find somebody. And they spring Bill Burr from the little trash planet, which would be really terrible to work on.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, there's lots of repurposed AT-ATs just doing stuff and lifting and being effectively car salvage part. You see like old destroyed TIE fighters and
right
Y-Wings and stuff, I think, were in the background.
Which I love that they brought Bill Burr back.
Yeah. I like that Cara Dune picked him up first. Says, you come with me. And then they're about to get on Slave One, and Boba Fett comes out, and he's like, oh, I thought you were somebody else. Some other guy. Looks just like you. And then Mando comes out, and he's like, crap.
I like how Cara Dune was like, hey, I can't do that. I'm basically like the law now or whatever, And then he's like, it's because of the child. They took the child, and she's like, all right, let's do it.
Yep. It's like that meme. It's like a short gif. It's like me and the boys going to say Baby Yoda, and it's like 100 Mandalorian cosplayers going down an escalator or whatever.
It's the truth.
It is. I would do that too. Little baby Grogu right here. Yeah. Let's see. They find that planet because Bill Burr. I can't think what is his character name? Mayfield. I'm just gonna call him Bill Burr because
I know.
he's Bill Burr to me forever.
Yep.
Bill Burr's like, yeah, that's we can get the coordinates from there because he was an old trooper.
So that way they can figure out where
the starship is.
Yeah.
Moff Gideon's personal
Moff
cruiser.
Gideon's. Yeah, because that's the whole reason they're going there.
Yeah, to find the coordinates where his starship's gonna be at, like basically his personal, like mini Star Destroyer is at.
Mm-hmm.
And then, which all this doesn't make sense because you would think all his like access codes or something would be changed.
Yeah, I feel all of that would have already been taken out of the system.
Yeah, I guess, unless maybe because it's been so fractured, they just kind of leave it. And,
I don't know.
Records or
when
whatever.
I quit Kroger, I still had my employee discount for like 2 years. It was
Mine
awesome.
was gone like a week later. They were like, "Nope, we hate you."
Someone at HR just wasn't working then, and then they forgot about Bill Burr's things.
Pretty much, yeah. So they make their way to that planet, and they find those transports
Yeah, and then you hear
with that volatile material in it.
Yeah, and then you hear like the best line ever from Boba Fett.
Oh yeah, because Bill Burr says, "Oh, you had to get in there. I need somebody to come with me." The face scan to get the information, which also doesn't make sense because you think they'd have to have a record of being a soldier.
Right.
Yeah, Boba's like, "Yeah, I think they'll recognize my face." I love that little nod to being a clone.
Yeah, at first I was like, what? And then I was like, oh yeah.
Yep, all the clone troopers. It's like, yeah, they'll recognize me. Because there was that back and forth earlier. We just didn't talk about where they enlisted. No, that hasn't happened yet. Never mind. Not this part.
Well, then they find Mayfield and Mando get in the little
they
the
commandeer
Jeep or whatever.
that,
Yeah.
that transport because it goes to the tunnel. They knock them out. Bill Burr remarks the stuff's really sweaty, which you would get really sweaty in armor, which no one ever really talks about.
Mm-hmm.
Because Mando was like, yeah, I'll go. And then, but he still wears the armor. And then there's that whole conversation between him and Bill Burr where he's saying, everybody has their reasons to everyone has their limits and everybody has a code, but everybody's willing to break it for the right thing, basically.
Right, of course. That's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, when they're doing that, then out of nowhere, all the other transports start getting, like, blown up, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when Bill Burr, like, Mayfield's like, what? Take me back to the planet. Like, I should have just stayed there. What am I doing?
Yep. Freaking out, doing his Boston accent in space.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I think a Boston accent's ever been in space. I love his facial and just I love everything about Bill Burr acting.
Mm-hmm.
Just,
Me too.
doing that. Yep. Then they're driving. The Mando has like just one blaster. He gets on top because all the natives are trying to stop them from plundering their resources, basically. And they have that awesome chase scene where they're on those little like hover barges and they're boarding and Mando's shooting him until he runs out and he throws the gun, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really ever see that. And then he's just fist fighting. Just all these aliens. Takes one of their bow staffs and, you see him knocking them out. This goes on forever.
It was really long.
Yeah, but it's all one awesome shot. One long thing. And then you see a bunch more of them and he's literally standing like, crap, I gotta fight more.
Right, because he just went through a lot of them, and it wasn't like just quick, easy, like bam, you're done. He like had to work for it.
Oh yeah, he got whooped a few times too, which was great.
And he almost fell off the one part.
Yeah, a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get saved by TIE fighters flying and blowing up those little floating barge things or whatever the natives had. Gets back in. He says, "Oh, and you never thought you'd be so happy to see Imperial troopers."
Yeah, because they were the only transport that made it there. So then everyone was like, "How are you the only one that made it? Like, what's different about you guys?"
Well, at first when they got off, everybody's like, "Oh, heroes welcome!" Hey, see, he's high-fiving people. Yeah. And then they slowly make their way back to that little it almost looked like a tiny cafeteria.
Yeah, like a little break room.
Yeah. And then they had that little kiosk. of information. Bill Burr's like, oh, there's my previous commanding officer, because he kind of hinted at him being a former trooper that fought in some sort of battle, and you don't really know.
Right.
And then Mando finally goes in. He's like, no, I have to do this. This needs to happen. I need to do it for the kid. And he takes his helmet off for the second time in the series, and people actually kind of see him. Puts the little data stick in there and scans his face, which still doesn't make sense, but whatever.
Just is what it is.
Yep, starts getting the data, and the troop commander or whatever his rank is, officer comes over and says, who are you? What's your serial number? And he says, oh, transport. He says, no, what's your TK number? He's like, crap. And then Bill Burr comes up and is like, TK5, whatever. He's like, I can't hear. He got hit with a decompression. And he starts, okay, good job. Yelling at him like he's deaf. Almost get caught.
Very close.
Yeah, like that. Like that close.
Like that.
Yeah, like that.
That close.
Super close. Then they sit down, have a drink, and then Bill Burr starts kind of... He has that regret, because he kind of knows he did bad things.
Well, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people have that.
Mm-hmm. Because it wasn't just... it wasn't him just doing bad things. His men that he served with and trusted were kind of killed and left behind.
Yep.
And he has a bit of that survivor's guilt almost. And he knows this guy's kind of to blame for it.
Yeah, because he was the main commander officer or whatever.
Yeah. It kind of sentenced them to death, basically.
Yeah.
And he shoots him. And then they get up and they start shooting everybody else. When he shoots him and the other trooper is just like holding a tray, like food or something, and he's like, you can see him going, oh, crap.
Right. He had that moment of like, God dang it.
I thought I was going to live. Nope, pow, pow, pow. They shoot everybody. Then one of the best moments, because of the previous conversation, knowing your limits, what are you willing to break your honor for, your code? And Bill Burr he doesn't look at him. He just hands this thing, says, take your helmet. Everybody here's dead. I didn't see your face. And he's not looking at him. And then he takes it and puts it on.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was such a great moment.
It really is.
I think.
And then he doesn't tell anybody that he took his helmet off either.
Mm-hmm. So they get out of there, and but the alarms trip. Their stormtroopers are coming right after them, doing a little battle. Cara Dune and bounty hunter girl. I can't remember her name.
Neither can I.
Probably should. I have this little...
I feel like we looked it up last time. We forgot.
Fennec Shade.
Oh, okay.
Or Fennec Shand. Anyway, Fennec. We'll just call her that. Yeah, they're sniping, helping them out. Then they finally get up and Fett, rescues them. And
that's a good moment too. What
Yep.
Bill Burr does.
Yep, he shoots that exposed bit of that raw material stuff that's super explosive and blows them all up.
Yep.
And he says something like, that's how I can sleep at night.
Yeah, because he just knew they were bad people.
Mm-hmm. Which is it's interesting to see that, because when Mando and him get there, and everybody's like, this hero's welcome, like, yeah, we're doing this thing, and they're on the bad side, of course, but they're military and they're heroes to them. They're doing the right thing, I think, in their eyes.
Right.
They might not necessarily see themselves as bad. Because I think a lot of what people don't realize in Star Wars and kind of in real life is that not everybody has information access. Like a lot of people don't know who the Jedi were, and they were around not long ago. And they might think, they might get that kind of propaganda from the Emperor that they're doing the right thing, conquering the galaxy to ensure that people are okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they think they're doing the right thing. And it's kind of a sad thing, but it's also not, because they're killing innocent people.
Right.
And then that's when Boba outruns the TIE fighters and uses that seismic charge, that depth charge, whatever you call it. And it has that boo moment. And it's just awesome. Yep, and then they regroup, and then that's the end of the episode.
Which was also a really good episode. The last 3 episodes, well, I think even the one before that was a good one too.
It was. Oh yeah, they let Bill Burr go.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Like at the end, they're like, "Oh, I think he didn't make it through the."
Yeah, prisoner 122, whatever, or whatever his number was. Yeah, it's a shame he didn't make it. And
yeah, he was blown up through the explosion or whatever.
He's like, "You kidding me?"
And then they just let him be free, and that was nice.
Yeah, because he did the right thing in the end.
Because in the beginning, he was just like, "Why would I help you? Like, what am I getting out of it?" Basically, and they're like, "Another day to live." Basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. This thing's really not cooperating. Surface Pro is not currently working, so I'm using this little tablet. What's next?
And then the final episode.
Yep, the final episode. They meet up with Bo-Katan and the other girl, Casca Reeves. I think that's what it says her name is. And then they
I can't remember who that is. Who's
that's
that?
the other Mandalorian chick.
Oh yeah, okay.
And then they find using the coordinates, they team up with her, and that's where they have that because they go to that cantina thing to kind of regroup and all that, and that's when they find Bo-Katan and all them, and that's where they have that little fight between what is her name, Koska and Boba Fett, because she said, he never questions anyone's legitimacy as a Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
But they do, and they say, he's like, "Oh, this is my father's armor," and she said, "Don't you mean your donor?" And he takes offense to that.
Right.
Because he's like, "Yeah, I've seen, I've killed a lot of your face," or something to that effect. And they have a little fight. And it was kind of cool because he uses the grappling hook and their flamethrower right at each other at the end, and they have to break it up. And then Bo-Katan seizes on this moment to get on Moff Gideon's ship because the whole story is she wants the Darksaber. Because the Darksaber, whoever has that, rules Mandalore.
Mm-hmm. Which we find out more about that later.
Yeah. I mean, if you know Rebels, if you watch Rebels or, Star Wars Rebels, you already know that. But we don't know that just watching the show. Which I kind of want to watch Star Wars Rebels. Just get more backstory because she's in it a lot.
Mm-hmm. We can watch it.
Yeah. She's also in Star Wars The Clone Wars when she's much younger and her sister falls in love with Obi-Wan and dies and all that. That's a whole nother podcast. And then they make their way to Moff Gideon's ship.
Which it wasn't even... I guess it wasn't really hard to get on it. And it wasn't really hard once they got on it either, realistically.
Kinda, yeah. Well, they had to secure that Imperial transport.
Which I didn't even think about it when he let out all of the Dark Troopers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, yeah. And then I was just like, oh, yeah, they're going to be back. Like, I didn't even think about it until they came back. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, what
we'll get to that after we get there. Yeah, they secure the Imperial transport. It has that doctor who was originally experimenting on Baby Yoda.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll sell the hologram of him. And they use him to get on the ship. Mm-hmm. After Boba's chasing them. And they just kind of ram their way in. And then just start, they has all the Cara Dune and the 2 Mandalorians just kind of running, Cara, who was it? Cara, the 2 Mandalorians, and somebody else, and the bounty hunter, Casca, or whatever her name is, just running a distraction, and then Mando sneaks out.
Oh yeah,
for Yoda. Yep. And he just kind of stealth his way around, and they're making their way, and they make their way to the bridge. Like, oh, Gideon's not here, and then they release the Dark Troopers because it took them like 5-10 minutes to power up.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
You could see them. It was like they were so close.
Mm-hmm. And then Mando flushes them all out into space, except one, which he has to fight. And he's just struggling because blaster really doesn't work too well. And he ends up having to get it kind of in the joint with the Beskar spear. and all that.
Which is, I mean, the only way you could really get them anyway is because they had really good armor.
Mm-hmm. Probably have to have a higher powered blaster rifle.
That or a lightsaber, correct? Would that go through it?
Oh yeah, yeah. But then seeing all the girls just cut through people, and the scene where they're going over that small little bridge, and they take the two people down, then they pop back up. Like, this is an amazing action scene. The whole them just going through people, and Kara, her little blaster minigun stops working. She just starts hitting people with it.
She's a beast.
She is. She's legit a beast in and out of the thing. She's fucking, bah. Yeah, she's like physically powerful in real life too.
You said she's, bah.
Yeah, bah. Flex. Flex. I didn't want to flex and rip their shirt too much, so.
Oh yeah, sure, of course. So swole.
Yeah. Swole with like Cheetos and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's a great scene leading up to there. Then Mando fights Moff Gideon because he finds Baby Yoda, Moff, and he's like, I already have his blood. Just take him, get off my ship. And he's like, this doesn't seem right. But he goes and picks him up anyway, and then Darksaber attack. And Mando overpowers him eventually. Takes him a minute, which, I mean, Gideon's probably been in a lot of fights, even though Mando's younger and faster. Probably a bit stronger. He takes him out, and he's kind of like, ha, 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 ha. Takes the Darksaber. Baby Yoda takes him with him. And that's when we find out.
Well, like, Gideon went down, like, way easy in my eyes. He was just like, all right, I'm down.
Yeah, because then we find out that, you have to beat somebody in combat to earn the Darksaber. I think that was a bit of his plan, too. To kind of get Mando and Bo-Katan to fight. He thought maybe they'd fight right then. And then,
Which Mando didn't want to fight. He was just like, here you go.
Yep. He's like, yep. I yield. Here, take it. And I was like, nope, that's not how it works. You have to fight to the death.
Yeah, and Gideon was like really enjoying that.
Yep. Starts trying to kind of hide a blaster that one of the troopers dropped. One of the dead troopers dropped. All the dark troopers are coming because they flew back from space because they have jetpacks somehow, which I guess makes sense since they were flying earlier. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I was about to say, how do you think they took Baby Yoda?
Yeah, they fly back in. Security cameras like, oh crap, they're gearing up for their last stand, and that's when I thought, oh, this is gonna be the cliffhanger episode to go for next. But nope, I see one little X-wing. I was like, oh. I know who this is.
This was a cool scene because it was dark. You couldn't tell who it was. All you saw was the lightsaber.
Yep. See a hooded figure and you hear, and it's so reminiscent of Vader's hallway scene in Rogue One, where he just tears through rebel fighters, just effortlessly, and that's how Luke was. He just ignites his lightsaber and he's just cutting through dark troopers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Moff Gideon kind of knew, like, oh crap, Luke's here.
Well, yeah, that's when he was just like, oh, shit.
Yep.
He kind of had that, because at first he had that, like, attitude, like, haha, fight now, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, Luke came, and then everyone was just like, holy shit. Like, everyone was just like, holy shit.
Yep. He's like, oh, crap, it's Luke. Because Luke has to be famous among higher-ranking Imperials.
I would assume so.
Yeah, they would have to know who he is after, because this is after all three movies, the originals.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Luke just tears through all those dark troopers.
Like they were nothing.
Yeah, because they droids are not any, even the best droids are still not that big a threat to a full trained Jedi, especially Luke, who's the most powerful Jedi. It's like a bunch of 10-year-olds running at Mike Tyson. Like there's no chance that he's just gonna pow pow pow. This is what you get. Pow pow pow. Think you could take me? Yeah. Just he'd tear through them.
Just spin, do a helicopter move, get all of them. Boom.
Yeah. 100%. That works every time. Yep. Then that moment comes where Grogu. Grogu's like, huh, what's up? And R2 comes out with Luke. He's like, I had the when R2 kind of like freaks out when he sees him and he's like, "This again? With little green guy?" I saw the meme where there was a meme where Luke comes in because I remember Yoda when Luke first meets him, he pretends not to be Yoda.
Right.
Yeah. And then there's the meme. It's like, "I'm here for Grogu," and Grogu's like, "Oh, who is this Grogu you're talking about?" And he's like, "Ah, not again."
I saw that. Yeah, that was funny.
Yep. And then it comes back to the whole Bill Burr moment of what you're willing to flex your morals for, or your code of honor, if it's really worth it. And he picks up, he takes off his helmet and he picks up Grogu in the most heartbreaking scene. And he's like, "Yeah, we'll see each other again, won't we?" He's like, "I know we will."
Well, because when Luke came in, Grogu kind of was looking at Luke because Luke was just basically like, "All right, let's go."
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. He was like basically ready to leave like right then. It was kind of like, give him a minute to say bye. Like he just now got found, which I know Luke probably didn't know that or whatever. But, and then
Yeah.
Grogu had kind of that look like, should I go with him? Should I stay with like essentially my dad, Mando? Like, what should I do? And then
Mm-hmm.
Mando just kind of picked him up and took off his helmet. And then the look that Grogu was giving Mando was just like, I don't know.
There's a lot there. Like, well, I think a lot of the Luke thing was because of the CGI. Because they watching a few things on it, they're like, yeah, he couldn't really move too much to do a lot because of the way that we did it.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of that was also like when he takes off his helmet. It reminds me a lot of Vader when Vader was dying, and he says, take off my mask," and Luke says, "No, you'll die," and he says, "I want to look at you with my own eyes."
Mm-hmm.
And that reminded me of that. And then when he says, "We'll see each other again," it reminds me a lot of Anakin when he was leaving his mother, and he says, I'll see you again. I'll come back and free you."
Mm-hmm.
So it makes me wonder if there's going to be some tragedy in the future. Or not.
I'm assuming there will be.
Probably it's Star Wars.
I know.
Nobody's ever happy in Star Wars.
I know.
Yep, and then he hands him off to Luke. And you see him kind of like looking at him as he's walking away, and that's the end of the season 2.
And like, I feel like no one was prepared for that.
Oh, no.
Just because the last several episodes, we have not seen the child at all. Like, we were just like, what the hell is going on with Grogu? Like, and then for us to see him for like a second and then all of a sudden him be gone was just like overwhelming for me. I was just like, no, my baby. Because one of my favorite scenes was when Grogu was in those little handcuffs and he was like essentially choking the stormtroopers and all, doing all that stuff, and then they put the little handcuffs on him, and I'm just like, I know that was a few episodes ago, but it was still just like, I'm glad he was just like fighting, you know?
He did everything he could, just throwing them around like rag dolls.
And that was like one of the best moments when he was just like choking him. And then he had those, it's like that meme that was just like, well, the stormtroopers were like,
Yep.
we have baby handcuffs. Are we the bad guys or whatever it was?
Like, why do we have baby handcuffs? Are we the bad guys?
Yeah, like, yeah, you are. So yeah, I wasn't ready for Grogu to be gone.
I don't think anybody was. I thought, like I said, it would be like a standoff, and it would just be, like a cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
Or
well, now we have to see what's going to be happening next season because obviously Mando now has the Darksaber.
Mm-hmm.
And what's her face wants that Darksaber.
Mm-hmm. Bo-Katan. See, I'm wondering because we also had the we'll theorize about that here in a second. Yeah, I think they'll go back to whatever base they have. And they'll talk to like some sort of elder council or people, and either Bo-Katan and him will fight, or maybe she'll say, well, we have to be married then. And that's how I get it. Because we'll be king and queen of Mandalore. I could see that. And him maybe saying, all right, well, just do it for legal reasons, and I'm going to go do my thing.
Possibly.
Mm-hmm. Or they might just say, all right, let's kill Gideon. Nobody saw anything. Here's the Darksaber. and we'll just say Bo-Katan fought him.
Do you think they're gonna kill Gideon?
They might. If they were gonna say, let's just cut his head off with the Darksaber, and say Bo-Katan did it and fought him and won it, and nobody else says anything, then that would make her. Then everybody would go along with her being the rightful leader of Mandalore. Be a tradition.
I guess why would Gideon have to be dead for that? They could just be like, yeah, he's just trying to fight it.
Because if anyone has any dissent about it, that could disrupt her rule. That might have them.
Yeah,
lose
but I
faith
feel
in
like
her.
the type of person she is, she would want everyone. She would want it rightfully hers, or she would want everyone dead. Because I feel like she's kind of like the paranoid type in a way.
Maybe, but I think she would trust Mando. Maybe,
Yeah,
and
but
maybe
you can
Cara and
trust
all that.
Mando, but can you trust Cara? Can you trust, like everyone that was there?
I think so. I think she could. As
Well,
far
I
as-
feel like she could too, but you
Yeah.
never know.
But maybe they'll just have them fight in some sort of sanctioned combat and call it good. Maybe he'll fake his death or something.
I don't know.
I don't know. But then the after credit scene, Boba going back to Tatooine. He kills what's his name, Jabba the Hutt's old right hand man.
Oh
The-
yeah, I
the male
forgot about
Twi'lek.
that episode.
Yep.
Or that scene.
Yep, because all you hear is beep beep beep, him just going through the guards, the pig guards. He's like, "Oh, Boba, I thought you were dead." And pew, shoots him. Then he sits on Jabba the Hutt's throne.
I forgot about that.
Yep. So I'm wondering if he's gonna build his own empire or build something Mandalorian-esque, or maybe this is just him starting his own legit business, or what it is.
Guess
Good.
we'll find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, next year when Mando comes out, we don't know.
You never know.
We never know what it'll be.
It's exciting.
It is. Now it's gonna spawn a million.
So many things.
A million offshoots. Ahsoka Tano's getting her own thing. Rangers of the Republic, I think it's called. Which they said Cara Dune might be part of that, because she's now, a Republic Ranger now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. There's gonna be a bunch of other stuff. There's gonna be an animated one called The Bad Batch.
I just can't
That's
wait to
Clone
see Bill
Troopers.
Burr more.
I hope he's in more stuff.
There's zero reasons why they would keep him alive if they didn't want to, you know what I mean, bring him back.
Yeah.
So I know he's gonna be like fucking Star Wars,
Okay,
like
be in the Star Wars. I could see him being in Rangers for just helping them out again with Cara, maybe if
Yeah.
she's in it.
yeah, like her going and being like, hey, I need your information on this, and him just being like, well, I'm an ex-con, but I can help you. What's up?
Or maybe he rescues her because he happens to be on a planet that he's now has an organization or something, or they cross paths some way, some reason. I don't know. There's so much they can do, and we don't know.
We'll find out though.
Yep. All right. I think that's pretty good. Wrap this up. Short little review. Next we'll be doing WandaVision.
Woo.
And that's gonna be a whole nother set of reviews when because Disney's just cranking out stuff.
I know, so much stuff.
Cranking out stuff. That's crazy. So yeah, like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.